Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ha, Rekah, Kwadash, Ma'amat. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and elders. Double honors to my apostle and elder as well, Ahir Wan, Banyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. And salutations to the fellow Akim, Atwafim, and Banyam children that believe in truth and sincerity. It's your brother Atanyala back to you another lesson, and your heart desire is edifying. As you can read the title, it says 45 and 47, Nero proposed Golden Dome. All right, as he imposed it, he insisted. All right. Estimated to cost 1.2 trillion, far more than he initially said. Right. You know, because, he's a liar and the father of it. All right, pertaining to Esau, Edom as a whole, the broader spectrum. All right. But we know over there in Pink City, Tel Aviv, all right, Jerusalem, the small hats got a defense system, all right, that doesn't work. All right, neither is this one that he established. If he gets to establish it, it's not going to work either, man, as the Lord said. All right, none will miss her rank pertaining to the ICBM missiles and various other scriptures. All right, we'll get them. But mainly just a quick news article. All right, going into this topic. All right, we'll see what scriptures come to mind. But it says here, President Donald Trump's plan to put weapons in space, right? Because that's ultimately what they are, right? That's their goal, and that's the purpose of them putting the satellites in the Shemayims, all right? The layer of, the firmament, But you see, all the money and the taxpayers' dollars that go over there to the small hats, they have established a missile defense system, all right? But all the money that made America be laddered with thick clay, that depth, all right, they don't have one, all right? So it shows you who are really in power, all right, between England, all right, the mother of this place, all right, and how this daughter has just been pimped out and used for the small hats, all right, over there posing to be the Lord's people, and they're not, all right, and that's why the whole world is in chaos, because the Lord has to intervene and regulate, all right? Similar to Esau, he has his Bitcoin, his blockchain system, until the feds regulate it. Well, the Lord, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God, while Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls JC, all right? Who mean he delivers, all right? They have to come and regulate, put this thing in perspective, man, in order. But it says the nonpartisan CBO report published Tuesday is described as an analysis that reflects one illustrative approach rather than an estimate of a specific administration proposal. The futuristic system was ordered by Trump in an executive order during his first week in office, right? Because realistically, this is something this is the highest tech of the tech to do these particular things. You're talking about divine intervention, something that, divine intervention in a fleshly way, right? Trying to stop a ICBM, right? A nuclear attack via satellites and sensors and drones, right? You're not going to be able to estimate that as a businessman, as 47 and Nero is, as he does everything else he do, his towers, aka his hotels, casinos, so on and so forth, with cheap labor via Issachar, the tribe of Issachar, using our people, right? Can't do that. So the realistic approach and really analyzing and putting this stuff on paper, they're saying it'll cost nearly 1.2 trillion, all right? These people don't even have that money, and while the citizens of these people, all right, who run this place, they figure out how they're going to pay their next bill, all right? Gas prices is going up right now, the petrol and things of that nature, trying to figure out where their next meal go come from. But these people talking about spending 1.2 trillion, all right, money that they print out on something that's not even going to work. Because the Lord warned us and told us it ain't even going to work, all right? One of the first scriptures I'm going to get to the point. start off in the book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, God's love for Jacob, right? The nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, man. Because that's what World War III is for. That's what the breaking down of this devil system is for, all right? To establish the Heavenly Father system so you can reign and live in righteousness, man. All right? No longer vexed and burdened by this system, by this devil, all right? Devil meaning deceiver, who deceived the whole earth, man. He's a liar and the father of it, being Esau, Edom, and his descendants, man, his minions, all right? But they have a job to do as we have a job to do. So this is Malachi 1 and verse 1, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi, right, to Israel. I have loved you, saith the Lord, right? The Lord said he have loved Israel. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us, right? That's what Jake say today, all right, Israel, all right, because, you know, this world has created an illusion of equal rights, you know, to make us think that we're equal. We're not equal, all right? We're the standard. Everything else is superficial. It's just scratching the surface, and it's going to be off the surface soon, all right? But the Lord loved Jacob, man. But, hey, 2/3 of our people, they have the mindset that the Lord has casted us off. You know, they don't see that we're being chastened, all right? They don't see that we're actually being loved because the Lord is showing us what not to be, all right? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Right. Saith the Lord, yet I love Jacob. Right. He loved Jacob. All right. And that's why the blessings went how they went. Right. You can even go back spiritually. Wasn't Cain Abel brother? Right. But Cain, he gave up an abominable sacrifice. All right. And what happened to Abel? Abel was in the Shemaims, you know, pleading to the Lord, man. You go allow him to do this? No, the Lord let him run rapid, man. You spare the rod, you spoil the child, and made what? Cain a vagabond and a fugitive of the earth, all right? Which what? Spiritually, he comes back lacking pigmentation. He comes back cursed via Genesis 25 and 25, all right? The birth of Isaac and Rebekah, begotten the twins, Jacob and Esau, the antagonist and the protagonist, all right? But just the point, all right? The Lord said he loved Jacob and hated Esau. And it's Malachi 1 and 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Right. And that's why what? Ishashua, meaning what? Wasted away is he. That's ultimately what his name mean. Right. Even stemming back to the dwelling places, cave dwellers. Right. Caucasoids. Right. Geographically would be the Georgia, Russia. Right. This is their dwelling places. This is why you have these imposters running up into that landmass, you know, speaking a perverse tongue, right? Perverse dialect, different form of Hebrew, right? Yiddish, right? With the German Slavic language, dialect, all right? Because whether you French Caucasian, British Caucasian, consider yourself Babylonian, American Caucasian, you're from the nation of Edom. All right. But it's back in Malachi 1 and 3. You know, the Lord, well, he's always laid their heritage waste. All right. Their mountains, their governments, and their heritage waste. And that's ultimately what's going to come in these times. All right. Verse 4, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build desolate places, right? And that's what they always said, even from the time of Herod, right? The time of Herod, seeking out the death of the Messiah, man, Yahushua, big brother, all right, who was going to be born to be the ensign of the people, all right? And that's what they continue to try to cast off even to this day, all right? That's why he wants to put his nest amongst the stars, roughly paraphrasing, all right? He want to play as God, all right? To where you have people that'll be like, hey, the Bible, that Bible, the white man book, they made that up, so on and so forth, you know, to where you'll see the prophecies even fulfilling and coming to pass, and they still in denial. because it's supposed to be some script that Esau running. They give the power to Esau before they give the power to the ultimate power, man, himself, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of the Bible, the God of heaven and earth, you know? So it's back in Malachi 1 and verse 4 again from the top. Whereas Edom says we are impoverished, right? They're the base people. They're the base man, according to Job 30, all right, and various other scriptures, man. But we will return and build the desolate places, thus saith the Lord of hosts, right? That's Herod's mindset, and they still in that mindset today, right? Look at Nero. He wanted to make this place great again, all right, and this never was great, all right? It was great in wickedness. They shall build, but I will throw down, right? The Lord go throw it down. Every time you try to build this place up, he go throw it down, just like the Tower of Babel. But this is the new Babel. This is the new Babylon, right? This is the daughter of Babylon. The Lord go throw this one down too, and it's going to be the end all be all. That's why he has made this the greatest melting pot, the greatest wickedness, the greatest captivity that has ever been, all right? So he can really charge it, man. It's going to be a real charge off, all right? Like how you lather yourself with thick clay, you can't charge it off. The Lord's going to charge it off, all right? With the blood that you shed of your blood being shed, roughly paraphrasing. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people who against whom the Lord have indignation forever. That's what you're going to be known by, all right? You're going to be known by that real soon, and in the kingdom to come, that's going to be your existence. That's going to be your existence for 1,000 years is your how you was the border of wickedness, how you was an example of how to not be in rulership, how you were never a ruling class people, right? This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and I'll get to the point in verse 7. Salakia, verse 6. I start at verse 1, right? This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1. The point is 7. And it says, God answers the prophets, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Right? And we reading it today. And we running, man. We running the race. Right? Not the rat race that Esau has the majority of the people and 2/3 of our people consumed in, to where they don't know where they're going or coming. Right? They don't understand the spiritual weather. As the scriptures say. All right? You know the physical weather, if it may rain, it may be sunny today or tomorrow. All right? But you don't know the spiritual weather. All right, pertaining to the Lord's judgments and what the Lord is bringing forth and coming and what's coming to pass pertaining to prophecy. All right, so therefore you don't have the spirit of the majority of these people of the world, 2/3 of our people, they don't have the spirit of the world. I mean, they don't have the spirit of the Lord. All right, they have the spirit of the world. You know. So what? They made it plain upon tables, man. It's simple to us, right? But our people, they stay upon the simplicity of the world, which is wickedness, man, which is confusion, right? Which is going to lead them to condemnation, to death, right? But it says here, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, right? And not lie. And that's why you got to know the prophecies. You got to have the understanding of them, all right? This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, measure the times diligently, roughly paraphrasing, right? Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry, right? And it been tarrying, man, because the Lord don't stir no move to the set measure be fulfilled, man. It's all for an appointed time. No man know the time, know the hour, except for the Lord himself, you know. Verse 5. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, right? His philosophy, his doctrine, right? You can be all you can be, right? The American dream, you know, so on and so forth, man. Just wickedness. Do as thou wilt. You can choose your gender, even though the Lord created you. Right? That's transgressing by wine. That's putting a philosophy out. That's putting a law out that's unsearchable. That's being an antichrist. You know, an antichrist just means against the anointed. So again, it says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell. Right. He loved that low condition. That's what he spread throughout the four corners of the earth to gain his riches. He don't care about nobody else. So that's ultimately what he's going to bring upon himself. All right. And is as death. Right. He's as death. He's a dark cloud everywhere he go. That's why he walk around with a smile. You know, they walk around with they walk around overcompensating with suits and ties and shit. They don't have their pants sagging and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Right. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. Right. He's a niggard. He increaseth to which is not his. The scriptures call him a grape gatherer. He will not leave not one gleaning grape for the next person or for the damn bushel to grow back again, more fruitful. He go bear the whole tree of fruit, man. You know? So woe meaning destruction to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? Right. And to him that laddeth himself with thick clay. And you go into that term clay, it means depth in the Strong's Concordance, right? Deprived from the Hebrew H5671. Aptit.
Strong's H5671. Avtit.
Weight of pledges. Heavy debts. Right. Weight of pledges. You pledging to everybody the promise to pay your promissory note. Your little fiat currency. Little monopoly money that they don't even want to play with no more. But he's sitting here talking about 1.2 trillion. They estimating and giving a quote of 1.2 trillion where you worrying about if gas go get more expensive or not. But y'all people really believe that these the ruling class people. We crazy. We don't, those who listening and learning, but those who may come across this video, you know, we have to wake up. We have to realize that we have an enemy. We behind enemy lines. We're in captivity. We are the ruling class people, being you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians. And those are the speckled bird who may look like the other nations. All right. But bear the same spirit as such. Your spirit bear witness to these scriptures, to this truth. All right. This is Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please. And it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Right. He's sending them plagues and them scourges for amendment to the second Egypt, man, the Babylon the Great. You know, so is the Lord a liar? All right. His word not going to come back void, man. This is the book of 2nd Ezra. Because this is a part of his word right here. 2nd Ezra chapter 16. Also in 15, when he talk about how he sent scourges for amendment. The 2nd Ezra chapter 16. And I jump to the point in... And 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon in Asia. Right. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Right. Which these are places that this place would represent. Gird up sackcloth with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry for your destruction that's at hand. These people are worrying about their welfare day to day. And these people still talking about trillions and billions of dollars, man. Of something, of going to military surplus, basically. All right. Again, that your plowshares into pruning hooks, Jeremiah chapter 3. All right. To where it's going to lead to the people mourning and going about to the streets, man, and people going to their long home. Roughly paraphrasing, it says here, verse 3, a sword is sent upon you, and this is 2nd Ezra 16 And 3, a sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? Right, who may turn it back? He go build a $1.2 trillion Iron Dome. It's going to take sweat equity to build the shit, and it still ain't going to work. It's going to be, all that's going to be for nothing, for naught. A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn? Right, you couldn't even contain them wildfires out there in California, and out west, even though you was creating them. Whatever you got, allegedly. 5G allegedly. Right? Lasers, whatever the case may be. You probably was using satellites for that because you had the people painting their roofs blue. But whatever the case may be, imagine the power that the Lord bringing, man. You ain't gonna stop that. Can't get to the moon. How you gonna stop what's coming from beyond that? Verse 7, may one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? Like, who is he? This is a prideful demon, man. That Nero is a mother, man. He prideful, bruh. A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence, man. You're going to turn to a pillar of salt, man. You're going to be dehydrated, man, if you ain't like he is when he arrived, man. If he don't see himself, you're going to be a pile of, you're going to turn into a pillar of salt, man. All right? You're going to cut a man asunder, all right? Separating that soul from that body, all right? At an instant, you know? Again, like those who be destroyed and condemned in that manner, hey, it's going to be at an instant, the twinkling of an eye, those who go be changed, all right, for righteousness' sake in that manner, all right? And it gonna come down to that spirit that's upon you. It says here in verse 12, the earth quaketh in the foundations thereof, the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows, right, it's the Lord that's doing this. That's what the perspective is getting down to here in verse 12 and 13, man. Right? And who sit upon his right hand side, man? Yahushua. All right, he's coming back. He ain't going to meet thee as a man. He's going to be back with Michael Allah in the Hebrew, which is the archangels, meaning, hey, that God-like power, man. They coming to bring havoc, all right? The troops, Lord of Sabaoths, right? For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. So what you building the $1.2 trillion Iron Dome for? When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world, man. All right, so I'm gonna read that from the top again. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Right. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. And this is Ezra speaking. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Right. You know, because Ezra was inquiring on, when the kingdom go come? Why it can't come now? You know? So, who go to deliver me in those days? And Ezra's here again, all right, prophesying the downfall of another sinful kingdom, all right? And it's the last kingdom with the hopes of being saved, man, all right? Because this devil through. He talking and he's speaking and boasting about his heart's desire, and he not going to fulfill it. This is Isaiah 34 and verse 16 get a quick point. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate from my Salakia. I wanted Jeremiah, Salakia. That's not what I wanted. I don't miss her rank. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Right. All right. You can equate this to modern day Babylon. All right. The arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain, right? Just as the Lord's word. And this is a part of the Lord's word. So it ain't gonna come back void, all right? Verse 10, and Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoice, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, right? Same as Esau Edom, man, in his present day kingdom system, right? Babylon the Great. Because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass and below as bulls, right? Your mother shall be sore confounded, right, England. She that bare you shall be ashamed, right? They even had the Brexit to where they kind of backed off of you financially. They already know you were a burden. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert, right? Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, right? This is going to be a place for nocturnal animals. It's never going to be inhabited again. But it shall be wholly desolate, right? Every one that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues, right? Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Shoot against her round about. She hath given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her as she have done, do unto her, right? Make her naked, strip her for all her resources, like she done did through the four corners of the earth amongst these other nations, man. All right? Put the drop little man and big man on her. Drop it on them. That's how she initiated herself and established herself amongst the kingdoms, all right, amongst the nations, and that's how she must go out, man. That's how she got to be done unto her, man. And again, the Lord's word is not going to come back void, man. It's going to be done, all right? You know? But Shalom, Habadan, detail until the next one.